tam jena tasmaye Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagadatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saha Gana Lalita Srivasa Kambatam Sha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishware Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataze Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Text 34 of chapter 9. I'll just chant the sloka, please repeat. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Please try. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayana. Let's try. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayana. Matmanaha. Always thinking of me. bhava, become, mat, my, bhaktaha, devotee, mat, my, yaji, worshipper, mam, unto me, namaskuru, offer obeisances, mam, unto me, eva, completely, eshyasi, you will come, yukva, being absorbed, evam, thus, atmanam, your soul, matparayanaha, devoted to me. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Translation, please repeat. Engage your mind.
Engage your mind.
Always in thinking of me.
Always in thinking of me.
Become my devotee.
Become my devotee.
Offer obeisances to me.
Offer obeisances to me.
And worship me.
And worship me.
Being completely absorbed in me.
Being completely absorbed in me.
Surely you will come to me.
Surely you will come to me.
Purport. Now please be patient and listen carefully. In this verse it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. Sometimes unscrupulous commentators distort the meaning of what is clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentators divert the mind of the readers to that which is not at all feasible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and he himself are one and absolute. It is stated in the Kuruma Purana, as it is quoted by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhashya commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita, 5th chapter, Adi Leela, verse 41 to 48. Deha dehi vedo yam neshvare vidyate kvachit. This means that there is no difference in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, between himself and his body. But because the commentators do not know the science of Krishna, they hide Krishna and divide his personality from his body or from his mind or from his body. Although this is sheer ignorance of the science of Krishna. Some men make profit out of misleading people. There are some who are demonic. They also think of Krishna but enviously, just like King Kamsa, Krishna's uncle. He was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should not be thinking one should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. Oh, I'll repeat that. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. That is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna continuously. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna continuously. What is that favorable cultivation? It is to learn from a bona fide teacher. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material, but is eternal, blissful knowledge. This kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise from the wrong source will prove fruitless. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, with conviction in his heart that Krishna is the Supreme. He should engage himself in worship. There are hundreds and thousands of temples in India for the worship of Krishna, and devotional service is practiced there. When such practice is made, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity and engage his mind, his body, his activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. This will help one transfer to the Krishna Loka. One should not be deviated by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the 9 different processes of devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting about Krishna. Pure devotional service is the highest achievement of human society. The 7th and 8th chapters of Bhagavad Gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like the impersonal Brahma Jyoti and localized Paramatma. But a pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna in which it is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from the standard, but still he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be perfectly saintly, a saintly person. I'll read that again. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be a perfectly saintly person. His accidental, non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated, without any doubt, in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down, because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. He will certainly receive the supreme award of Krishna. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the most confidential knowledge. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mami vaishyasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Gurudev, Jai Nityananda. So Srila Prabhupada first stresses this thing about unscrupulous commentators, because there's many versions of Bhagavad Gita, as you know, and most of them are written by speculators, jnanis. They are so puffed up, they think, oh, I'll get some name and fame. And that's why most people become teachers, isn't it? So that they can get some name and fame. Oh, I'm a very intelligent person, like this. But they don't write their own book. They take Krishna's book, which is very famous, Bhagavad Gita, and then they write their own commentary on it and their own speculative explanation. And in such speculative explanations, this verse is usually, and the other one in the 18th chapter, which virtually says the same thing, because Krishna is stressing this thing. The word me, mam, here it's said so many times. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer your obeisances to me, worship me, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Like that. It goes on and on. Manmana, Baba, Mad Bhakto, become my devotee, think of me. Like this. Worship me, offer obeisances to me, Mam. And they interpretate this to mean not to Krishna, but the unborn within Krishna. They want to divert you away from the personality of the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan feature. Because they're impersonalists, speculators. They have no understanding of the personality of Godhead. They think that the personality of Godhead is for less intelligent people. Because Krishna says, oh, by worshipping me, by devotional service, even the low-class person can come to me. Even they will be delivered. Women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as Sudras, workers. Like this. They can easily become Krishna conscious. Because the process that Krishna is giving is so easy. Prabhupada would say, what is the difficulty? What is the difficulty? What is the difficulty? Again and again he would ask the devotees, so what's the difficulty? Krishna is just saying, always think of me. So can you think of Krishna? Can you think of Krishna? Say yes or no? Yes. Thinking is easy, isn't it? Thinking of Krishna is easy. Is there any difficulty in thinking of Krishna? Can you do it for 10 minutes? Can you think of Krishna for 10 minutes? Then just keep repeating it. Just keep thinking of Krishna. Krishna says, always think of me. Are you always thinking of Krishna? Why not?
Where is the difficulty?
What is the difficulty? That's exactly what Prabhupada said. I listened to the lecture today. They told me, can you give this class? I said, okay. So I went and stuck the lecture on, and Prabhupada's just saying again and again, what is the difficulty? What is the difficulty? What is the difficulty? He's just asking repeatedly. You know? Because why won't you think of Krishna? Why won't you think of Krishna? What are you thinking about instead? Money. Oh, he loves money. He's a lover of money. My bank account. Counting the money in the bank account. Like this miserly person. Counting the money. Like this. And what are you thinking about? Instead of Krishna? His wife, right? Thinking of the wife. Or the children. Thinking of your children. Or your friends. Why are you thinking of them? Because you love them. Because you've put them in the platform of love. Prabhupada was saying this. Because you love them. And you might be saying, well, I'm just thinking about myself. So that means you love yourself, right? Or your ego. What you think you are. What you dream you are. You might not like yourself as you really are, but you dream. You dream. Oh, I'm a very great, intelligent. Look, they gave me a garland of flowers. I'm a great devotee. It says this thing also, Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes this thing, that when you take up self-realization, then the next thing you think is, oh, I'm a very religious person. Oh, I know about self-realization. I'm very knowledgeable. In this way, you're a deceitful person. He said you're full of deceit because you're not loving Krishna. You're loving your ego, your false ego. And it's to do with the body, identifying with the material body. That I'm this body, I'm this mind. Like that. I'm the mind and the body. Krishna's mind and his body we hear as non-different than himself. Because he's pure, absolute. Spiritual. There's no difference than Krishna and his body and his mind. Everything is the same in Krishna. And this is explained in Shastra. He's Satchidananda Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadi Radhi Govinda Savakarana Karana. That he's the cause of everything. Of course, I went in my illusion, forgetful of Krishna. And forgetting Krishna, then I'm thinking I'm this body. I'm thinking that my soul, myself, the soul is the self, the Atma. I'm thinking that myself is the same as my mind and my body. It's very strong illusion. Just like in a dream. I may be dreaming and I'm running away from a tiger in the dream, and the tiger is running after me. I'm gonna kill you and eat you. Like this, and I'll be crying in the dream. But do I call out for Krishna? Oh, Krishna, save me. Do you call out for Krishna in the dream? Please save me, Krishna. Do you call out in your dream? Krishna, please save me. Do you? Yes or no? No. Because you're forgetful. Why is the living entity forgetful? Why are you forgetting Krishna? Because you're so small, atomic. The jiva is so small. You're atomic and you can be covered by Krishna's external energy, Maya. The Maya potency. The Maya potency. You understand? Avranatmika, Prachakatmika. Like that. She has these potencies by which she covers you. She has a throwing potency by which she throws you into ignorance. Ignorance, you can be covered by ignorance because you're atomic, very small, very, very small. Like particles of sunlight coming from the sun. Like sparks from a fire. Very small. And because we're very small, if we don't take shelter of Krishna, if we're not under Krishna's protection, which is the internal potency, you understand? Krishna's Antaranga Shakti. He's pure Antaranga Shakti. Therefore, he is not touched by Maya. Maya is nothing. Maya is nothing. Maya is the Bahiranga Shakti. That is called the shadow potency. The shadow potency. You understand? If I'm facing the sun, I cannot. Is there any shadow on the sun? Is there any darkness on the sun? No. There's no darkness on the sun at all. So Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andaka. That Krishna is compared to the sun. It's very blazing. Blazing, he falls. Woohoo! Like that. There's no darkness at all. But it said, if you turn your back on the sun, immediately you see shadow. Immediately there's shadow there. Shadow is the absence of the sun. The shadow is actually created by the sun. Without sun, there's nothing actually. There'll be nothing. So the shadow is there because I turn my back like that. And when there's the absence of light, immediately, whoa, you see the shadow. So this Maya potency, the Bahiranga Shakti, external energy, is very powerful in compared to us. We're very small. Daivi hiya shuguna mai, mama maya durachaya. This external energy of the Lord is very powerful and is insurmountable because I'm so small. Because I'm so small. If I turn my back on Krishna, if I forget Krishna, then immediately I see the shadow. Very big, long shadow, Prabhupada would say. Long shadow. Like that. And this shadow means ignorance. Ignorance. That there's something separate from Krishna. That there's something separate from Krishna. There's nothing separate from Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy. Everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is for Krishna's pleasure and enjoyment. Everything belongs, even I belong to Krishna. Everything belongs to him. It's his energies. You understand? And the living entity is called the Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti. Like that. We're the marginal living entity. And we're very small. And we're like small, like rays of the sun. Like a ray of the sun. Particles of sunlight. And they are just like the sun. They have quality of heat and light. You understand? They have qualities of heat and light because they are part of the sun, parts and parcels of the sun. So they have the same qualities, but quantity, the difference in quantity between the atomic particle of sunlight and the sun, big difference, isn't there? One is infinite and the other is infinitesimal. Prabhupada would say infinitesimal. He created a new word, infinitesimal, which was a fantastic word. Fantastic word. Infinitesimal, which means we're simile to the infinite. We are like the infinite. But we are so small. We are so small. It is also said, Nicho nichanam chechanas chechanantam eko bahanam vidadati kamam. That there's all eternals, living beings. Nichanam. And there's unlimited living beings, but above them all is one. Above them is one living being who's maintaining all other living beings. He's also a living being. He is also a living being, but he is the supreme living being. And he's maintaining all of them. We are dependent upon him. We are dependent because he has all the energies. He's called a Shaktiman. He's the possessor of all energies because he's the supreme God. The impersonalists and the speculators, they want to deny his existence and they want to say, oh, I am God. But they're fools. The most ridiculous idea. I've met some people, I remember I've met some people sometimes, I get a good laugh out of them. They say, oh, I am God. And I say, no, you're not. And they say, yes, I am. And I say, okay, right. I'm going to prove to you that you are not God. Come here. Now, if you're God, you stop this fist from hitting your face. And they immediately go, oh, okay. Defeated. Prabhupada said, beat them with shoes. These incarnations, beat them with shoes. So I took it literally. That yes, the only thing to do with these people is beat them with shoes. Avajananti mamota manushintana mashita. And they're fools, rascals, Prabhupada would say. They're rascals. They don't care for Krishna. They don't care for Krishna. Krishna's saying, always think of me, become my devotee. What does it mean to become devotee? Krishna's telling, he's giving this order. You must develop a loving relationship with Krishna. Become my devotee. And worship him. Some of my people may say, well, this is kind of arrogant of Krishna. To say that they don't like it. They want people to worship them. They're in competition with Krishna. Isn't it? Am I in competition with Krishna? Yes. Yes, I'm in competition with Krishna in my dreams. I'm dreaming that I can be the Supreme. That I am the object of adoration. That I am the object of enjoyment. That I am meant to enjoy. But Prabhupada said, and Bhagavatam has given that example also, that just like the hand. The hand is part of the body. The hand is meant to feed the mouth. The hand is meant to serve the body. Isn't it? You understand? So in this way, the hand is meant to serve and put food in the mouth. But if the hand was dreaming, oh, I don't need to feed the mouth, I can take this food and enjoy it myself. If you had a hand like that, You know, you put it on the prasadam plate and it is. What would you do with such a hand? You'd have to restrain it, wouldn't you? You would have to restrain it. I've seen one time. Sometimes you have this problem. Somebody has this problem. Have you seen this? They are sometimes autistic, and they keep their hand is out of control and keeps beating them like this and shaking all the time. They even hold it with the other hand. And because it's out of control, it becomes very, what's the word for it? Atrophied. You'll see that hand becomes shrunken. The body doesn't want to maintain it. Doesn't want to maintain, because it's useless. It's not in harmony with the body, not in harmony with Krishna. Like this. Because out of harmony. Therefore it becomes in a weakened condition. It's not the natural, healthy condition of the living entity. You understand? Prabhupada also gives the example of spark. When a spark falls from a fire, it's no longer connected with the fire. Then its qualities of heat and light become extinguished. They become extinguished. Just becomes a black speck of soot. Right? Black. Like that. No longer effulgent and shining. Becomes covered up with blackness, ignorance. Ignorance. Like that. So in this sloka, it says, Mame Vaishyati Yuktvaivam. Yuktvaivam means connected with Krishna. So as soon as you're connected with Krishna, you become like Krishna. Not that you're Krishna, but you become like Krishna. Just like a black spark, put it back in the fire. Again it will become like fire, glowing like fire. Other example is like iron, an iron rod. Because you have got this material body, you've got this covering now of matter. And you may say, well, that's why I can't think of Krishna, because I now have a material body. A material body, right? So many demands of the body, isn't it? The tongue, the mind, the actions of the senses. So many things are there distracting me because of the material body. But the body is not an obstacle. Nothing is an obstacle. Prabhupada said, what is the difficulty? As soon as you think of Krishna, you're connected with Krishna. As soon as you think of Krishna, like that. Now, question is there. How do you always think? Krishna says, always think of me. How can you always think of Krishna? How can you always think of Krishna? 24 hours. How are you going to do it? You can think of your money 24 hours. You can think of your girlfriend or your wife 24 hours. Or your children like this. Or your land of birth. Oh, India, America. England. Flying the flag. Like that. They put their flag outside, right? In my country, they've had the St. George flag. Nonsense, rascals, demons. It all belongs to Krishna. They have invented those things. Oh, I'm an American. I'm an Indian. A few thousand years ago, this place wasn't called India. And you weren't called Hindus either. Oh, I'm a Hindu. It's all false designation, upadhis. They're all upadhis, and you're forgetting Krishna. You're forgetting who you really are. You're really Krishna Das, Krishna Dasi. You're not this Indian, American, Englishman, Russian. None of these things. These are all false designations. And the names of those countries are all false. Some thousands of years ago, this place was called Ilavritavasha. And then later on, one great king was there. Bharat, and then he would name this country, the world after him, Bharatvash. But previously it had another name. And now it's got another name, broken up into so many countries. And you designated those things. Oh, I am this and I am that. In this way, you're forgetting. This is how Maya covering us with forgetfulness, ignorance. These things are born of tamaguna. It's tamaguna. They call it knowledge. Oh, you're trained. You're trained at school to learn your geography and your history. And actually, they're just bewildering you with so much tamaguna. So you're conditioning. You've been conditioned. But you're none of those things. And you don't belong here in this material world. This material world is a lunatic asylum. Prabhupada said, lunatic asylum. Like that, when you've got some crazy people out of control, fighting with each other. Always fighting with each other. Because they're always in competition for the money. Right? For the money or the land. Or the women or the men. Or the prestige. And they're envious of one another. Envious of one another. Like this. And they're very proud. Don't you know? I am a sannyasi, GBC. Great man. Guru. They're fools and rascals. Yes. Pure devotee doesn't have such mentality. A pure devotee understands, I am a tiny, tiny spark. And I am completely dependent upon Krishna. And there's no pride at all. He has no pride at all. He's simply the servant of Krishna. He's the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. And he's always thinking of Krishna, that Krishna's the object of my love. Just like now we had here, springtime. Springtime. So springtime is a very big festival time now. It's coming up. Very soon will be Holi. Right? You know what is Holi? They're going to throw color all over you.
Even today some people do.
Sometime it's starting because springtime. That is the nature of festivals here. And as soon as people have these festivals, they remember Krishna. As soon as you think of Holi, you think of Krishna and the who? The gopis. The cowherd men were also throwing dye. But you don't think of them, do you? No. You think of Krishna and the gopis. Like this. And other festivals. Because at this time, all the beautiful flowers will start to come now. Some rains will come. The weather will warm up. And all the spring flowers will come. And fruits. And the green grasses will be. And the cows will be like this. Out there eating like anything. Isn't it? And along with that, so many birds. They're making their nest. Like this. And so many animals. Because springtime means what? Come on.
Building a new house.
Yeah, right. Now the male and the female are all like this. So this is also, because along with it becomes Holi and nice warm night, Krishna will go meeting the gopis. Like that. And they have many festivals to celebrate it. To celebrate it. You understand? We're constantly having, just like the temple is decorated with so many beautiful flowers. I see all the flower decoration. And the Lord is decorated with beautiful flowers like this. And if you read those pastimes, then you immediately, oh yeah, that is coming up. And therefore, it's a very important thing. You have to understand this thing. If you want to think of Krishna, you want to think of Krishna, then you can think of Krishna. No problem. What is the difficulty? If you want to think of Krishna, You can think of Krishna. Now you may say, well, how? This is how you think of Krishna. You think of Krishna in the human form. You know, just like these Muslims, right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written that you're thinking of God as Allah, like impersonal, no form. Yeah, you can't think of Him like that. How can you think of Him and think of Him with love? You think there's any love there?
Just fear.
Just fear, he says. Well, look, there's some appreciation that He's great. He's great. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Like that. And of course there's fear not of Him but of others. But there's no love there. And also a Christian, they're not so, love is not there. They think of God as a very old man. The beard, right? In the Sistine Chapel. They paint him like that, touching the finger of, Adam, like this. Like that. So doesn't look like very lovable, does he? No, and they think of him, he's like the judge. He's taking a record of all of your sinful activities. And if you're good, well, you go to heaven. And if you're bad, eternally will put you in hell. Like this. So it's not very lovable. Not very lovable. Even my father is better than that. And they say, oh, he's the Supreme Father. But if you don't do what he says, you'll burn in hell for eternity. Like that. So that's not very lovable. Not very lovable. Like that. And even Lord Narayan, Vishnu, even Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha, with his 4 arms, he's got this big club in one hand, with blood on it, from beating demons, and a Sudarshan chakra, like this, and 4 arms, all powerful. It's not so lovable. It's not so lovable. But when we think of Krishna, you see, Krishna doesn't even come looking like God at all. And his devotees in Vrindavan, we know, do they think of him as God? No, so this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a feature. This is his lovable feature. Above all features of God, is there any feature like that? If you think of all the different features of God, even in Dwaraka, Lord Krishna in Dwaraka, with all his opulences and his power and all these kings around him, big council, is he so lovable? Or is it Krishna, who's just a cowherd boy with no shoes, running in Vrindavan with the boys and the cows, bit dusty and dirty, and like this, and he plays on a flute, and he's just dressed with these freshly sprouted buds of spring. He's taking the freshly sprouted buds and leaves that are coming on the trees now, like this. And the peacocks are hoo-hoo now because rain is coming. And he's taking some peacock feathers and some clay from Govardhan Hill and taking decoration. And he's approachable. And you can have friendship. You can have friendship with him. And if you like, you can protect him. You want to protect him. Oh, he looks like, he needs looking after. He looks like he needs looking after. He needs to protect it. Or you can think, oh, look how soft his feet are. How his feet may be hurt from those sharp stones and thorns. So at the end of the day, those gopis think, let me put those feet on my breasts. They're cooling. Oh, his feet are very cooling. Like that. And this soft body. His body is so soft. So this is the feature of the Supreme Lord. This God that's the most lovable. You understand? You can think of him. You can put him very easily into the platform of love. You understand? Platform of love. Just like you're putting your money in the platform of love. You're putting your wife in the platform of love. Your children your children in the platform of love. You're putting your name and fame, you're putting yourself in the platform of love. So in the same way, you're putting that because you want that. Put Krishna into that platform, in your heart. Do you understand? Do you understand? If you want to, you can. It's that easy. What is the difficulty? Just put Krishna into the platform of love. Just put him there. Huh? And why don't people love Krishna? Prabhupada was asking that question in 1975 in New Mayapur. Why don't they love him? Because they don't want to. Simply because they don't want to. Huh? The 4 kinds of asuras, those who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, knowledge stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, they don't want Krishna. Rascals, sinful people, atheistic people, they don't want Krishna. But if you want Krishna, what is the difficulty? What is the difficulty? Another thing, some people say, well, how can I think of Krishna if I have to go to my job? I have to travel on the train, go on the bus. I have to deal with non-devotees. How can I think of Krishna? What is the difficulty? What is the difficulty? If you want to think of Krishna, you can think of Krishna anywhere. Huh? And you may think, oh, but how will I get my money? Huh? But Krishna says, Anyabi lasita samyam jnana kamadhyana. Oh, what am I saying? No, wrong sloka. Yeah, right. This is pure devotional service. But the Anya. Yeah. Oh, Krishna Chaitanya. That if you serve Krishna, if you're always thinking of Krishna, then Krishna carries what you lack and preserves what you have. What's that sloka? Anyabilasitam sam. No. It sounds like that. Yeah, it's in this chapter, in 9th chapter. And what number is that? About 24 or 32. 22, 922. Look it up and we'll compare it. What we've been thinking. Because my mind works pretty. Ananya Chintamanto Mam. That's it. Read it for me, please, Prabhuji.
Anayas Chintan Mam Ye Gyana
Payupashate Yuktanam. Yuktanam is coming up. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. That those who are connected with me, Yuktanam, they're always thinking of me. He says, I personally carry all of their necessities. You don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about anything. If you're thinking of Krishna with love, you put him in the platform of love. Now, some devotees, they say to me, oh, but Prabhuji, how can we have any love for Krishna? Nonsense! Everybody has loving propensity. That is the nature of the living entity. We all have loving propensity. Huh? What is that other sloka? Krishna Nitya. That in English, that pure love for Krishna is there seated in the heart of all living entities. It simply has to be awakened by hearing and chanting. It's simply there. It just has to be awakened. If you want it, it will be awakened. Everybody has loving propensity. Even the dogs have loving propensity. Even the cats have loving propensity. Every living being has a loving propensity. And when you put that loving propensity on Krishna, you put Krishna in the platform of love, Immediately, Krishna says, I will carry all your necessaries. You don't have to worry. I'll carry what you lack and preserve what you have. You don't have to worry for anything. You just have to think of Krishna. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyajimam namaskaru. You just think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me. Offer your prayers to me. And you will come to me. And Krishna says this also. In that sloka, I will, if you are thinking of me, if you're worshipping me, I'll carry everything. You're connected to me. You're no longer connected to this material world. It's that simple. What is the difficulty? If you want to, you can think of Krishna. Always. But to do it, you have to think of him in the platform of love. Just put him in the platform of love. Just put him there. Whatever love that you ever have in your heart, which is as hard as my heart, is as hard as a block of stone. That's why we follow regulative principles to bring us to the mode of pure goodness. Because in the pure mode of goodness, love will be natural. In the low modes of passion and ignorance, the heart is hard-hearted. There's very little love with those animalistic people. There's a loving propensity is there, but it's greatly covered by ignorance and passion. But when ignorance and passion are removed, then the loving propensity comes out more. And then when that loving propensity is reposed in the lotus feet of Krishna, immediately, you don't have to worry about anything. All your fear, anxiety, lamentation is gone. Is gone. And you can do it now. You can do it now. You don't have to wait. You can do it now. And you can preach that. You can give that. What love you of God, that you can give. If you have some love for Krishna, you can speak about it. Because you are convinced about it. Why would you love him if you don't know him? You must know something about Krishna. Therefore you can speak about it, you can preach. Those who don't have it, Prabhu said, they are like dead people. They have no life at all. When you have life, you can preach. Like that. You can have some life. And we understand that Krishna is absolute. There's no difference between Nama and Nami. Because absolute in nature. Actually, it said that Nama is more merciful than Nami. But even though absolutely there's the same. But that means if you love Krishna, then you love chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this chanting of Hare Krishna is given by Lord Chaitanya as the easy way of always thinking of Krishna and becoming purified. Cheto Dapanamanjanam, getting free from this filthy, dirty things in the heart. All this filth in the heart. Due to material ignorance, material association of material modes of ignorance and passion. They must be cleansed up. First. You don't have to wait. You can do it today. You can chant Hare Krishna. You can follow these principles. And develop some love for Krishna. As soon as you get these things cleaned up, immediately pure love will come up. Immediately. You don't have to wait for anything. It will come up if you want it. Put Krishna in the platform of love. Chant his holy names. Hear his instructions. And Prabhupada said, and be happy. Be happy. Like this, spend this life chanting the holy name, and very easily, Krishna said, you will come to me. You will come to me. Krishna will give you everything you need. He'll carry what you lack and preserve what you have. He'll carry, he said, he will personally bring your necessities. All your necessities. Not just money. Spiritual necessities, material necessities, all necessities. He will supply if you put him in the platform of love. That means that you have to stop your deceitfulness. Because he's Bhavagrahi, he knows what's going on in your heart. He knows what you're thinking, what you're desiring. So if you're desiring him, oh Krishna, please deliver me from this material world. I've tried to enjoy in this material world, and I've suffered and suffered and suffered. I know there's no real happiness here in this material world. Only happiness is with Krishna. In Krishna consciousness, that's the only real happiness. And there's no love in this material world. The only real love is with Krishna. The love between the soul and the Supreme Soul. And Krishna is the most lovable. He's the most lovable. Is there anything more lovable than Krishna? But the demons, the atheistic demons, they want to change the meaning of everything. They don't want to surrender to Krishna. And why? Why don't they want to? Because they just choose not to. It's their free will. If I say, I don't want to like that person, then will I like them? If I just say, I don't want to like them, then you won't like them. And if I say, I want to like that person, if I meet somebody and I just say, I want to like this person, immediately I'll see all the good things, I'll like them. And if I say I don't want to like them, I don't. That's it. It's what you want. Desire. It's your desire. You understand? It's your free will. Your desire. You've been given this freedom to desire as you like. So here Krishna said, take your desire, take your loving propensity and give it to me, and you will come to me. Okay? So does anybody have any question? Into a question? Mataji, you'll have to speak up. I think there's one microphone.
My question is very short. Why is Krishna black? Once I was asked by someone, why is your God black? So I didn't know what to answer.
You see, Radharani is not black, is she? She's golden. She's golden because this is the color. This is in Bhakti, Rasamrita Sindhu. Only devotee can understand this thing, by the way. Only devotee can understand Krishna. Nobody else can understand Krishna. No mental speculator, no logician. They can't understand. Devotee can understand. So that color of prem, pure prem, one-pointed, Ananya Bhakti, only for Krishna. This is golden color. It's golden color. Like this. But Krishna is not one-pointed. You understand? Krishna is not one-pointed. Krishna is multi-pointed. And this is a difference between Ashraya Tattva and Vishaya Tattva. Krishna is Vishaya, enjoyer. And Ashraya is a servant. So Radharani is the servant of Krishna. So that color is golden. And the Vishaya, that color is black. It's not black though, like a black soot or something like that. It's the color of a very dark blue sapphire, like a flash of lightning. Like a dark new sprout of a Tamil tree. When they're first shooting up, it's a dark blue, like this, or a dark blue lotus flower, like this. It's very dark, blackish blue, and this. So this is the color of the Vishaya, the enjoyer. And Krishna has many people, many devotees, all the devotees he reciprocates. He's reciprocating with many. He has relationship with many. But Radha only has relationship with Krishna. She's one-pointed. One-pointed love. But Krishna is multi-pointed. He has loving relationships with so many. Therefore, Lord Krishna, even though he's blackish, he wanted to taste it. Right? He wanted to taste that prem. So he came as Lord Chaitanya. And even though he's Krishna, but he becomes golden. He becomes golden. And there's one pastime where he came to Imlital. Imlital, by the bank of Jamuna. Because that's next to Rasastali. Rasastali is there, where Lord had Rasa Leela. Now there's Vrindavan town, this is the Rasa Stali, where Rasa dance takes place. And so when Lord Krishna was dancing in Rasa Leela with the gopis, Radharani became a bit sulky. And she left. She left, and Krishna, as soon as Radharani went, that was it. Oh, Krishna couldn't enjoy Rasalila. No Radharani, no Rasalila. Even though there was many gopis there, very beautiful and highly qualified, but still no Radha, no Rasalila. So Krishna went looking but couldn't find. So he sat under one tree, that Imli tree, and he began thinking of Radha. He began thinking of Radha so intensely, his blackish complexion was gone and became golden. He became golden. Radha Govinda. It was Gaura Govinda. Radha Govinda became Gaura Govinda. It became golden in color.